All right, here we go. This one's going to be a 10 millimeter versus 41 Remington Magnum. And a lot of people compare these for their power factor. So today we're going to see how they do. So for our 10 millimeter, we're going to be trying out our Sig V-Crown. That one is 180 grain. That's what that one looks like. Nice wide hollow point cavity on that one. Does have its nickel plated brass. And that one is rated at 1250 feet per second. When we do test it, we normally get just over 13, so we'll see how it does today. And for our 41 Remington Magnum, we are testing out the Barnes Vortex. That is the XPB HP. So that one is a solid copper hollow point. That one has a huge, wide and deep hollow point cavity on that one. And that one is just your standard brass case. And that one is rated at 1520 feet per second. So for our 10 millimeter, we're going to be shooting out of our 5-inch Rock Island Ultra. And for our 41, we have our brand new Smith & Wesson Model 57, chambered in 41 Magnum. And that one does have a 6-inch barrel. So a little bit of advantage, of course, but still should be a pretty fun test. So we'll be going through our gel. It is a 10% block. We do have our jug backstop just in case they get those pass-throughs, and our 4 layers of cotton t-shirt on the front. So like always, we have our chronograph, so we'll set up. Hopefully we can get those impact velocities. We'll see how these rounds do head to head. Here we go. First one up will be that 10 millimeter. All right, we're stepping back to 15 feet. All right, let's see how we did on that one. Looks like we do have a leaker, so definitely made it through. Impact velocity on that was 1335. So like I said, with this one, it's usually a pretty hot round, pretty much full power 10 mil. So definitely good to see. The rounds we're testing aren't apples to apples, but still should be a pretty fun one. So let's see how we did on the entrance. All right, let's check it out. Looks like I did pull that shot just a little bit, but I'm pretty sure we got just enough meat of that block to still get a pretty good comparison. So there's the entry on that. Nice big entry hole. You can see right down in there. And a pretty good star pattern so far. So it's definitely good to see. All right, so let's check that measurement from the top. Might be hard to see from this angle, so we'll probably have to flip that block over. But so from this angle, we're at 2 1/4 inches. So not the biggest stretch, but still pretty good. From the side, it's definitely looking a little bit better. Hopefully you guys are able to see that. Looks like it came in, opened up immediately. Got a nice stretch cavity on that one, pretty much all the way through. It doesn't really look like it settled down too much until the very end, maybe that last 1/4 inch or so, but definitely quite a bit of damage on that. And this one went through the first jug, hit the second one enough to puncture, but didn't make it out of that first one. So we did catch it in the first jug, but really cool to see. So definitely some pretty spicy 10 mil right there, especially factory loads. So now we're going to set up for that 41 and see how that one does. All right, before I take that next shot, I just want to show you the stretch from the top. So hopefully you guys can get a better idea of what that thing is looking like, just in case I do pull that shot or we collide or whatever. But it's looking pretty good. So there is a pedal down in there. Let's see what kind of measurement we got from this side. From this side, looks like we're just about the same, a little over 2 1/4 inches. So definitely not too bad. So let's see how that 41 does. All right, we're stepping back to 15 feet. All right, let's see how we did on that one. So our impact velocity on that was 1355, so really not too much more than that 10 mil, 20 feet per second more, and they were both 180 grain. I don't know if I mentioned that at the beginning, but so they are very, very close in comparison. That one did have a 6-inch barrel, so not too much more. And it looks like we do have a leaker, so we definitely made it through. All right, let's see how that one did. So it looks like this one we got a lot better shot. And same thing, you can see it right down in that cavity. It has a really nice star pattern from the outside. So let's check it out from the top. Check that out. We got some massive damage coming in. Really big spiral patterns going all the way through. It doesn't look like that one really settled down at all. It looks like it carried that energy all the way through. This one, we made it into the second jug, passed through the first, and we caught it in the second. So a little bit more penetration. So very good to see. And this one wasn't full power 41, just kind of what you can find off the shelf. The one that I tested for the 10 definitely is, you know, full house loads, which is surprising for factory. So next time I will test some Underwood for the 41 and see how much better it does. But so far, not too bad. Our stretch cavity is quite a bit bigger though. That little bit of velocity gain definitely helps. So about 3 1/8 inches from the top. So pretty big stretch on that one. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see it too much from the side, but as soon as that thing entered, it opened up really nicely. Got a huge stretch cavity going all the way through. And like I said, this one really didn't settle down too much. Pretty much carried that energy all the way through. This is a 13-inch block, so really good to see. So let's see if we can get a measurement from the side. It's going to be kind of hard. This is a pretty blurry block, a little cloudy. I will retest it in brand new block soon, but we just got this one and we had to get it out and test it. So let's see. Kind of hard to tell, but I believe we're about 2.5 inches from the side. Not the biggest stretch from the side, but the top definitely did some pretty good damage, and these jugs are leaking pretty good. So what we'll do is we'll check them out one more time from the top. We'll compare those rounds. So the left is the 41, the right is that 10mm. So they both did really good damage throughout both those tracks. So here is that 10. So you can see about a 1/4 inch in, it started opening up really nicely. Got some really nice spiral cuts all the way through. There is a pedal that did come off, and we carried through pretty much the whole way. So really good to see that 10. And our 41, same thing. It looks like didn't open up as quick, maybe just over a 1/4 inch. And then when it did start opening up, it was really doing some damage. Got a really big stretch cavity. And same thing with this one, pretty much carried all the way through that block. So very good to see. So they both did quite a bit of damage. So let's check those rounds out. All right, check these things out. They both did really, really good. Got some major expansion for both of them. So it's really good to see. The one on the right is the 10, one on the left is that 41. Like I said, this isn't really apples to apples test here. This is just pretty much the ammo that we can find at the moment. But I knew that 10 mil, the particular box that I got, is some pretty hot stuff, and usually pushing full power. So it's good to see. Like I said, for the 41, we'll test some Underwood or double tap pretty soon so we can really see what that thing can do. But still pretty fun. So here is that 10. Is that Sig V-Crown. Got some major expansion on that thing. Peeled back really far. Looks like we shed quite a few petals on it. There's, so far I can only see one in the block, and I didn't see any in the jug, so looks like they might have left that a block. But they came back, peeled right over the base. But we really got some major expansion. Pretty uniform though, really big slug on that one. And our 41, that one is a solid copper hollow point. Same thing, we got some pretty major expansion on that. Peeled them all the way back to that little cantilever lock basically. Peel those petals right back, and that is a huge slug. They are both 180 grain, but this one definitely didn't peel back as far. But that is a really good looking slug right there. So it was definitely fun to do it for our first 41 test. We'll have plenty coming up with tons of different ammo, a little bit of comparisons, but very good to see the performance so far. So here they are from the bottom. Can't really tell too much. That 10 looks a little bit bigger, but we'll see here at the end once we get our measurements and pictures and all that good stuff. But there we go. So that was 10 millimeter versus 41 Remington Magnum. All right, so here's that cross section for that 10 millimeter. Looks like we got some nice big splits coming in. You can see quite a bit of that cotton t-shirt down in there. There is a little bit of a petal or a fragment down in there. Same thing on this side, really big wide cuts, more of that cotton t-shirt. I did remeasure this one and it was just over 2 3/4 inches, so quite a bit of damage coming in. That round was moving out pretty good, so it's definitely good to see. So let's cut it open. All right, here's after being cut. This bottom one is the right side, this top one is the left side. So right here you could see basically as soon as it came in, probably less than 1/4 inch, it started opening up really nicely. Really big stretch going out through this whole chunk, and some really deep cuts down in there. This chunk did fall off right here, so I just kind of pulled it off, but really deep cuts. You do have some chunks of that t-shirt in there. Not really sure if you can tell what's going on, but really deep. Same on this side. Jugging quite a bit of that t-shirt, and massive damage. That was some full house 10 mil, so good to see what it's really doing to all this gel. And same thing on this side. You can see right here a little bit better. Came in, opened up. Looks like there is a fragment down in there, I think. And same thing, nice big stretch cavity. Jugging a lot more of that t-shirt. Got some nice cuts. There is a petal that's sheared off, but major damage coming in. And just a little bit different of an angle so you guys can really see what's going on. Super deep cuts though. Really clean cuts, but very deep. Things doing a good job. So there we go. There was that 10 millimeter. All right, and here's that cross section for that 41 Magnum. Same thing on this one. Got some pretty major damage coming in. Nice big splits. Same thing on this side. I did remeasure this one at its widest point, which was right here. We're just over 3 1/4 inches, so did do quite a bit more than that 10 mil. That we're moving pretty close to the same speed, so we'll retest these soon just to see how they do, and then I'll get some really hot 41 Magnum to see if we can pass up that 10 mil power. But pretty good so far, so let's cut it open. All right, here's after being cut. This bottom one is the right side, this top one is the left side. So on this one, it looks a little bit different. I did measure it, so it looks like about 1 inch in, it started to open up. So it's definitely a little bit more delayed than that 10 mil. But it's kind of cool to see because it probably would be a really good hunting round. But yeah, so it kind of came in right here, about 1 inch in, it did open up, got a huge stretch cavity. And same thing on this, we got some major damage. It did drag in a little bit of that cotton t-shirt. But we do have some pretty good cuts down in here. Quite a bit of damage going on. Same thing on the top. You can kind of see where it's a straight line and then it started to parachute open right there. And you can see that nice stretch. And then all the damage going on. A little bit more of that fabric on this side, but some really deep cuts. Really deep on this side. So it's definitely a fun test. It was our first 41 test, so be plenty to come. And we should have some pretty good hot stuff coming in, some good Underwood ammo. So there we go. There was that 41 Magnum.